I came to Guatemala after graduating from business school with the idea to work in an impact investment fund. And I was really excited about using what I learned to help social entrepreneurs grow their businesses and make a larger impact. One of the companies we invested in, for example, was EcoFiltro. They provide clean water to high need communities, but they have a really interesting business model around it. And so I was meeting so many interesting people and I was learning a lot. And I was really eager to do more. And living here, I learned about the topic of chronic malnutrition. So in Guatemala, 1 in 2 children suffer chronic malnutrition. And chronic malnutrition is not the same as acute malnutrition, but it's a lack of the essential micronutrients for kids' development. And this irreversibly impedes their cognitive growth and their chance of education, and therewith, of course, their potential to escape poverty. Here you can see 9-year-old kids from Quiche. All of them look perfectly healthy and well, but on the left-hand side, the kids are a lot smaller than on the right. And it's because these kids grew up with chronic malnutrition. And this is called stunted growth. And if it would just be the physical growth, that would be one thing. But the problem is really what happens in the brains of these kids. So here you can see two children who are 3 years old. One is normally nourished, one is chronically malnourished. And you don't need to be a prophet to see that these kids will never have the same opportunities to thrive in life. And experts are talking about a 1,000-day window of opportunity. So the first 1,000 days of life, they reach from pregnancy till the second birthday. And in this time, we develop about 80% of our brain. So it's absolutely crucial to get these micronutrients to the young children, because after the second birthday, the damage done by malnutrition is largely irreversible. And we see that it's still an issue that affects girls over proportionately. Guatemalan women are the smallest women in the world, and this is a result of malnutrition and discrimination. Here you can see me with my friend Jenny and another volunteer from the States. And she and her family are really an advocate for better nutrition and girls' empowerment. And they see nutrition as a human right, which I 100% agree on. And yeah, so I'm especially thrilled that you're sharing this presentation on the International Women's Day, because nutrition and women empowerment are very closely linked. And yeah, so I was working at this impact investment fund. I didn't find an investment that could boost nutrition and make it accessible to everyone. And so I was already here. I was starting to, learn Spanish, meeting people, and I decided I will try it myself. And so I founded Listo, and it's a social enterprise. I am very lucky because we're working together with the Institute of Nutrition of Central America and Panama and the UN Global Compact. So the mission of this social enterprise is to reduce child malnutrition and equitizing the access to highly nutritious foods. So other than a traditional company, this is how we measure our success, while always striving for sustainability and impact at scale. And the first thing that I did on this journey of building Listo and seeing what we could do about this issue was to see the roots of malnutrition. And oftentimes, nutritious foods is just too far away. So in many rural areas, the next market is an expensive bus ride away. It's once a week. There's no refrigeration. So either families can't go or the foods would spoil super fast. So at the end of the day, what they end up doing is doing the grocery shopping at the local corner stores. And this is a picture of how a typical one looks like. It's almost all high sodium, high sugar snacks, instant noodles, soups, nothing that could nourish a child. So it becomes virtually impossible to have your child not growing up malnourished in rural Guatemala. And my idea was really that these corner stores need to be part of the solution, because this is where mothers go 3-4 times a week to do their grocery shopping. And so our idea was to turn a scientific solution that works. It's called ready-to-use supplementary foods, which basically are fortified peanut butters with all the micronutrients kids need, and adapt them in a way that they can compete in these local stores against candy and against everything they're currently offering. And that way, making for the first time nutritious foods sustainably accessible to all families. And so there is a whole framework to it of like conditions we would need to fit it in. The first one is the price. In Guatemala, 66% of families live below the poverty line, and this is a statistic pre-COVID. So affordability is key. In these little corner stores, the average price of goods is 19 cents. So we knew it would need to be that or even lower for it to become viable for the families. Then, of course, it needs to be super tasty. If it's not, it's just too much of a headache for mothers to continuously give it to their children. And so we made a lot of iterations so that the peanut paste would actually taste good. And at the end, this is Sophia, she was really licking it out of the little glasses we were distributing it from. And it's, of course, not only the children who need to like it, but also the mothers and the grandmothers and all the people who take part in the decision process of what a small child eats. And then the third thing is the branding. So it needs to stand out among all this colorful junk food. And it also needs to be culturally sensitive. So in Guatemala, we have 22 Mayan languages and Mayan cultures. So we were co-developing the packaging designs in a way that it can really transcend these cultural barriers and be equally understood or understandable to all. And we were drawing with Mayan women's, many of them never had the chance to learn how to read. And so it was really important to us that this would not be a requirement and that it just become a very intuitive communication, very graphic one. And then lastly, what was really important is that the food needs to be ready to eat because the conditions in many houses still make it difficult to prepare food and you need to get costly firewood. And we don't also want to risk the food being contaminated before given to the baby. So having a solution that you would just open and you could give to your child right away was a game changer. So that's how we came up with Listo. Our first food. It's milk and peanut paste for high quality protein. And then it has a premix of vitamins and minerals in it. It's the most modern and accessible food supplement for children in Latin America. And we proudly say that it's developed and produced here in Guatemala. Together with INCAP, we were analyzing exactly the micronutrient gap. So here in blue, you can see the micronutrients in the children's diet. So here, for example, for vitamin C, you have a little bit over 40%. So Listo gives the other almost 60% so that we complement the diet specifically and that together with our food supplements, the kids get 100% of all the essential micronutrients and that they need to grow up healthy. And with one Listo per day, it strengthens the immune system and the body's defenses. It contributes to the children's brain development and improves their thinking abilities. It augments their daily energy and vitality, and it helps them to grow healthy and strong. And last year, during the pandemic, in June, we were in full lockdown here in Guatemala. Listo became a reality. And by now, we already sold more than 300,000 units, and it makes us so happy to see, this dream coming true and seeing thousands of kids eating Listo every day, getting the nutrition that they need. And it's just really thrilling me. So now we're reaching about 4,000 kids every day, but our goals are much more ambitious, of course. Everything that we do is complemented by an educational campaign. So we really try to achieve long-term positive change by explaining what a balanced and nutritious diet is, and that they then should complement it with Listo. So we think this is super important, and I think what makes a social business a really good one is that eventually it becomes irrelevant. Our dream is that one day nobody would need Listo anymore because the diets just improve so much. But for the moment, we're happy to provide this food supplement. And yeah, we also do a lot of education. This is me with my business partner, Ana Laura, in the markets for all the vendors. So, they work with fruits and vegetables, selling them every day, and they are there at the source and still have malnourished kids. So we do very interactive workshops with them, and they become ambassadors of nutrition, and they're empowered, and they know, and they're so eager, and they exchange recipes, and it's a lot of fun. And we're really happy to do this part as well. So our blueprint to impact at scale, we are slowly seeing that people are taking notice of what we're doing. Last year in December, we got the National Prize for Innovation by the government and UNICEF. And so little by little, we're getting the word out there, and more people and institutions are basically joining forces with us. And yeah, I'm not alone anymore. I have two amazing partners. Ana Laura, she is the Chief Operations Officer. Yeah, she's from Guatemala and doing an incredible job. And then Maria, she's from Argentina originally. She's the Chief Communication Officer. And as I said before, with like our educational campaigns for better general nutrition, this is really so key to everything that what we do. Right now, we're in 40 corner stores, and our plan for this year is to get to 4,000. And we have a clear path towards financial sustainability. Everything that we do is a lean partnership model. So right now, we do that with INCAP, and now we also start doing this for production, distribution, and sales. So we're partnering up with CBC and Via Brands, which is the local partner of PepsiCo, and they just have the strongest infrastructure here. And they are the ones who can help us to get this to scale. In Guatemala, we have many very remote villages where you can't get medicine and you can't get, fruits or vegetables, but you would always find Pepsi Cola. So this is the kind of reach that we envision having with Listo. And they also enable us to get below these 19 cents that I was talking about earlier, and really making this a food accessible to everyone, to all families. Yeah, here you can see some of the little stores where we're selling already. And yeah, it's been just fantastic to going to these villages for the first time and seeing, our posters up there and that they're selling Listo, and that women are actually buying it and deciding that this is worth it, and this is an investment that they want to make in their child's health and future. And yeah, it's a current pilot program, and I truly believe that everything that we do is working now because we've been testing so much and iterating so much. So this is, I would say, the most important learning, to always keep learning. And now we're designing a new pilot program for our education program, and really using innovative ways on how to communicate with our target groups. So tuk-tuks, for example, are the main mean of transportation in rural Guatemala, and oftentimes they have speakers, and we can like print our advertisement in the back and use the association of tuk-tukeros to communicate about Listo. And then there is also radio is still very big in Guatemala, and there is a lot of radios in the local Mayan languages. So these are the kind of programs we are now looking to test and see how we can communicate about it and gain trust doing it in the local languages. So we think that this pilot will be about $10,000. And then there's another thing we're currently fundraising for. The other thing we're fundraising for is to help kids with acute malnutrition. So during COVID, food insecurity here in Guatemala just jumped through the roof, and acute malnutrition, so actual hunger, not hidden hunger like chronic malnutrition, used to be a relatively small problem here in Guatemala, with few children affected. And now during COVID, we have about 60,000 kids who are in acute danger of dying because they just don't have food. And we see so many mothers with white flags in the streets asking for food for their children. And so we're currently, we developed a new food, a therapeutic food, which are used to recuperate kids with acute malnutrition and bring them back to health. It's a very acute intervention of about 8 weeks, and then the kids have a normal body weight again, and the changes really quickly. So we are fundraising at the moment to launch the second food to be able to respond to the crisis here in Guatemala, and hope to be able to contribute to end it as soon as possible. And yeah, we do all this because we truly believe that today's nutrition is everyone's tomorrow. Thank you so much. And here is also all my I mean, there are always a lot of challenges. I would say the two biggest one at the moment is sealing the deal with this big distributor, right? And really getting it to scale. So this is one. And then while penetration of the market is a big concern, the other thing that we're really working on is frequency of consumption. So in order for this to work and to have a real impact, it's not enough to eat something healthy once a month. It's really an everyday task. So getting this entire communication to the families right, and encouraging them to purchase it daily or every other day at least, I would say this new scaling up phase, now that we have a proof of concept, would be our biggest current challenge. So for us at Listo right now, the most immediate plans of expansion would be to Central America. It's a relatively unified market, and many of the problems are shared. So we really hope to grow first through Central America and then through Latin America. And then I am taking part in several consultation initiatives where we're sharing our knowledge and trying to apply it to other parts of the world. Of course, every part has their specific challenges, and a lot depends on the local ecosystem. But we really think this general approach is replicable. And especially, I think what made our food so different is the entire co-development with the communities and this learning journey, making something that people actually want, instead of like deciding from an outside perspective what we think would be the right thing. So this entire design of the packaging, which mothers love and kids intuitively want and understand, has been, I think, such a door opener. And so I think even if like the exact same thing maybe in India wouldn't work the same way, there are lots of lessons that we can share to enable other programs. Personally, the most important thing is that Listo becomes financially sustainable, and that we grow a Latin American team that becomes completely independent of me. So this is really my dream for Listo, and that we are able to scale impact. So for this year, we have the really ambitious goal of reaching 100,000 kids. So from 4,000 right now, we still have quite the journey ahead, but I think it's actually feasible. And then more personally, I would really like to be able to share more of what we do, and also contribute to other organizations, that they are able to make more impact and think about things in more sustainable terms. And I'm even contemplating about writing a PhD starting in September about all the work that we did. So yeah, I have a lot of goals for this year. I'd say for me personally, it wasn't that challenging. Maybe I was in a unique position because I grew up with a single mom who was really ill, and I grew up helping her always. And after she died, I was always looking for a way how to be useful and how to go give back. That was just the way I was brought up. So also in business school, I was looking for ways how I could do something that could actually drive social positive change, and use that tool. And of course, I can see that maybe going to Guatemala and starting something from scratch is a little bit extreme, but I truly think that everyone, no matter what their career is, has the ability to do something that's really making an impact. And it doesn't have to be, just like quitting your job at all. But maybe there's something you can do after hours, somebody you can help, some consultation that you could give, somebody to reach out to. So I think it's so gratifying on another level that for me it was a no-brainer